You are.
What is the matter?
I feel a little low.
I know what could help. SEM TV Morning Pulse. It's a good day to shine on SEM TV Morning Pulse.
Hey. Wake up, go shine. Go shine, go shine. Morning light, here we go. New day rising, feel the flow. From your world to what's ahead. Every story being said. Feel the rhythm, feel the call. We bring the moment, we bring it all. Wake up, go shine. Step into your light, your time. Feel the world come alive. SEM TV, rise and shine. Wake up, go shine. From the streets to the skyline. Every moment, every line. SEM TV, go shine. Shine. Go shine, go shine. Go shine, go shine. Go shine, go shine. From your health to what is new. From the trends to global views. Where the roads and where to go. Markets moving, let it show. Feel the rhythm, feel the call. We bring the moment, bring it up. Wake up, go shine. Step into.
Okay, it's a beautiful morning, and this is SEM TV Morning Pulse, and it's about time for you to rise up, go out, and shine. And it doesn't matter your area of specialty, regardless of where you find yourself, we all have the opportunity to contribute significantly to the advancement of our collective development. Today is the 26th day of the month of May, and I'm super excited to welcome you to the SEM TV Morning Show. My name is Francis Oyima Edet. Super excited as always. Now, evil will always continue to thrive and multiply when good men fail to take the necessary, decisive, intentional action to put an end to it. And this is the message that we're bringing to you this morning as Nigeria continues to grapple with different degrees of insecurity across the states of the Federation, especially with kidnapping, ransom, murdering, sacking of communities becoming the new normal. While in the midst of all of this chaos and tragic stories spreading across Nigeria, the Nigerian politicians, from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, are busy canvassing for votes within the political parties. Now, I saw a memo online yesterday, and it drew my attention, as it should draw your attention also, to the fact that during the Goodluck Jonathan's administration, when we witnessed the unfortunate incident where over 300 plus schoolgirls in Chibok were kidnapped, we saw Patience Jonathan, the then mother of this country, weeping off and on national TV about the injustice, about the insecurity, about the tragic scenario. Although we made a joke of it and it trended across social media platform, today we are seeing a more learned, so to say, according to Nigerians, and herself a pastor of a church, the wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, sitting as the First Lady of Nigeria. Yet, in the midst of all the abduction of children, the killing, the sacking of communities, she has not spoken, not once, on national TV. Well, it's left for you to put side by side, compare and contrast which of these women best sits the title of the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, as it is the tradition, we have a lot of segments lined up for you to keep you informed, to keep you educated, and of course, ensure that you have a fresh start to a brand new day. And I'm leading you straight into the first segment of the show, talking about the wake-up world. And of course, the first thing coming up will be the front pages of a national dailies. And for this morning, we're starting with the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Now, regrettably for me to say, the first screaming headline we have, Tantita Security Services Nigeria Limited, a toast to President Tinubu, who the cap fits. You might want to ask the question, does the cap really fit President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Has he done so much to deserve Nigerian votes, especially as we prepare for 2027 general elections? But that's the screaming headline on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, and above the masthead we see INEC appeals election guidelines judgment, seek stay of execution. Page 15 has details of the story. Still above the masthead, Nigeria's GDP growth rate slows to 3.89% according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. Page 5 has details of the story. Bandits invade Kwara community, raise Emir's palace, abduct 10. Page 26 has details of the story. And of course, those are the major stories you find on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Now that takes us to the front page of the Punch newspaper. The screaming headline, the petroleum sector, Dangote faces price war as NNPC backs fuel imports. Right to the story, NNPC urges court to dismiss Dangote's suit. Marketers back competition, warn against monopoly risks. Refinery says import licenses undermine local production. Details are all on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Above the masthead, we see Fubara's exit from governorship race aligns with peace pact. That's Yes and Wike speaking. Page 18 has details. Eid. Federal government declares holidays, steps up security nationwide. Page 12 has details of the story. Still on the front page of the Punch newspaper, Southwest insecurity. Iboho awaits federal government's nod to launch outfit. Page 12 has details of the story. My brother's beheading haunts me daily, or your teacher's sibling. Another sad narrative there. Page 3 has details of the story. INEC appeals ruling voiding primaries. Page 18. Federal government counsels $717 million World Bank power loan amid blackouts. Page 35 has details of the story. And of course, excuse me, those are the major stories you find on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Our next stop will be the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Screaming headline taking us to insecurity. Bandits attack Emir's palace. Wives, children, orders kidnapped. A sad story there. Page 3 and 4 has details of that story. Above the masthead, 2027. Jonathan knows fate on eligibility today. ADC to announce presidential candidate has 3.4 million members vote. Page 7 has details of the story. Of course, you can find the Jonathan story on page 4. Senator Buba emerges PRP governorship candidate in Bauchi, promises 80,000 naira minimum wage. You can see details of that story on page 10 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Now, there's a picture story talking about the Eid traveling for Nigerian Muslims who are each, going to their different states to celebrate the season. Why Abuja Kaduna Road gridlock persists. That's another story. Page 5 has details of the story. Cleaner bags 20 years for killing boyfriend. Page 21 has details. Again, INEC appeals judgment nullifying guidelines for party primaries. Orders. Page 8 has details. Supply shortage. High depot prices shoot up gas price. Page 19 has details of the story. And that takes us off the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper into that of the Daily Times newspaper. Daily Times is showing the part of Daily Trust this morning. The screaming headline, terror alert. JTF warns of attack during Eid al-Kabir celebration. Says strikes will use suicide bombers, IEDs, issues advisory. You can find details of that inside the Daily Times newspaper. And above the masthead, NSCDC seals factories of alleged rail line vandalism, terror financing. Business. Marketers express concern as price of cooking gas jumped to 1,500 per kg. And that's a story we'll be looking at sometime later on the show this morning. Still a last story on the front page of the Daily Times. Court jails cleaner 20 years for stabbing boyfriend to death. Those are the stories you find on the front page of the Daily Times this morning. taking us into the very last paper we'll be taking this morning, which is the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard is taking us back to the election preparation. Of course, 2027 presidency, opposition parties in disarray as factional candidates emerge. Details are on page 5. And of course, we see the writer, SDP, ADC, PDP caught in the web. Results of PRP ADC primaries ready today. Atiku favored to pick ADC ticket, gets endorsement from state. Above the masthead, intervene in mass killing of Nigerians rather than rhetorics, PFN tells federal government, page 14. Has details of the story. Warri constituency delineation. Thugs attack protesting Ishekiri youths at INEC headquarters, page 7. Has details of the story. INEC appeals judgment voiding timelines for 2027 polls. Details are on page 9. And the last story we'll be taking this morning from Vanguard. Oyo school kidnap, government under pressure as abductors demand ransom. We won't spare resources to rescue victims. Marking the family of beheaded teacher demands recovery of body. Details are on page 10. NCAA airline operators beaker over there, page 8. Eid al-Adha, federal government declares Wednesday, Thursday public holidays. Page 33 has details, but apologizes for Vatican's role in justifying slavery. Page 8 has details of the story. And those are the stories making it to the headlines this morning on the newspaper review. Of course, that's the much we can take. Head back to Vera Phillips and Tammy, who will be here to take you around the next segment of the show. Thanks for staying with us. We'll be right back.
Wake up, go shine.